Let us visit with Mitch Light. He is with The Athletic. He does college baseball for The Athletic. Mitch, Super Regionals. SEC, SEC, SEC. Not really, dude. We had some classics. The Cinderellas kind of went back to a pumpkin. I don't know. What were your thoughts, man? I mean, how much fun did you have with the Super Regional weekend?
Yeah, it wasn't as compelling as the first weekend, which is just the numbers. It's going to be the case. You've got more games the first weekend, so there's more opportunity for compelling action. But it was fun to watch. I mean, Georgia, Mississippi State was great theater.
It was drunk. It was absolutely. Was there 21 home runs combined, and there was only like 31 in the rest of the Supers combined?
Yeah. So I left. I had to. I was watching the game. It was early start. I think it was 7-0. Then it was 7-2. We had to go pick up my son at the airport. And so, I was driving to the airport, 30-minute drive, and like a good, person, wasn't checking my phone or anything like that. We got to the airport, and I said to my wife, I said, holy, you know what, it's tied. Yep. And so then we got home and just in time to see the last few innings. It's not my favorite brand of baseball, like that small park and just so many home runs, but it's fun to watch. It's compelling, no doubt about it. So that was great. And people were saying that was like one of the best Super Regionals ever. You can't have one of the best Super Regionals ever when it's a sweep. I don't care. It was enjoyable, but there's not quite the tension when there's no Game 3 involved. It's just kind of makes sense. No Game 3, you can't be the best. Auburn Ole Miss was fun to watch. It was
good baseball.
Yes, good baseball. And there's something, we talk about this a lot with home teams and crowds. There's something compelling, keep using that word, interesting to watch, nervous energy in the home crowd. And while Auburn had its moments to cheer, you could tell the whole time they were just nervous about their team, and rightfully so. And so credit Ole Miss, and Oklahoma's still playing or about to finish off their sweep, which was extremely impressive with what they're doing. I saw that team in person for 3 games here in National. If you would have told me they were headed to CWS, I'd say you're crazy, but then I'd say, well, it's baseball and it's just playing good at the right time of the year. Ole Miss was 15-15 in the league,
yep.
And they're going to Omaha. Oklahoma 14-16, or they might have been 500, whatever. They were a good baseball team, a top 20 baseball team, but they were an average SEC team. And if you're an average SEC team that plays well in the postseason and gets some good matchups, you are going to go to Omaha. You're going to have a chance to go. So Texas, Oregon, that game last night was fun to watch. What Oregon's relief pitcher, the dude with the changeup, looked like Mariano Rivera out there. But he got tired, so they had to pull him. So yeah, it was a good weekend of baseball. And the only thing it kind of stinks about is there's no good game. There's no game tonight. I would have loved to seen. This is the first time that I remember that there's no Monday games. That the Saturday Sunday games and then sweeps.
Well, you say that due to weather. We've got games today, right? Possible doubleheaders today.
Well, no. Well, Alabama just finished off St. John's.
Oh.
And Oklahoma's up 7 or 8-1 in like the third inning against.
So never mind.
Kansas. So yeah, it's not even. Sure, I'll have it on my laptop as my second screen when I'm working, but it's not like must watch. They're up 8-1. If this game were in Athens and it was Mississippi State and Georgia, clearly wouldn't be over. And Kansas came back against Arkansas. They've got the potential, and Oklahoma's pitching can be very erratic, so that's not a done deal. But I would be surprised if Kansas comes back.
You mentioned how it wasn't exciting as the regionals. Yeah, but it's very much like the March Madness. We get Cinderellas all over the place on the opening weekend, but by the Final Four, chalky kind of goes chalky. It's not dissimilar.
Right, and then you have the couple cases when you had the Cinderella, Cal Poly, who advanced out of their regional without having to play the number 1 seed. Obviously a good enough team to be in the NCAA tournament, but no match for West Virginia, especially on the road. And then Troy and Little Rock. While Troy is not a Power 4 team or not a name brand, the talent gap between Troy, a top, one of the better Sun Belt teams, and Little Rock was on display. And that was fun to watch because the crowd and everything about, Troy crashing the College World Series, but those games weren't necessarily that exciting.
No. And St. John's going up against Alabama.
Same thing.
That was 2 cakewalks for Bama.
Yeah, St. John's credit them for winning in Tallahassee. It wasn't a great Florida State team. You win in Tallahassee twice. You've obviously done some good things. That team was 1-10 at one point this year. Got blown out against Power 4 teams. Big East, that conference Xavier has advanced a couple times. They've fielded some good teams, but like St. John's was just overmatched to Alabama.
Yeah, yeah, they were. So we kind of know the field now. Let's just go that Alabama and OU are going to hold on. 5 of the 8 are SEC.
Yep, it's a record for one conference. A couple years ago, we saw 4 SEC and 4 ACC. There was a point there where if things went right, there could have been 8 SEC teams. That was before the regionals were set, which wouldn't have been fun. I mean, it would have been interesting, but wouldn't have been great for the sport, obviously. And the amazing thing is, it's 5, and there's no LSU, the defending national champs. There's no Arkansas. There's no Vanderbilt, the team that's won 2 national championships. It just shows you, and the stats been floating around how the last 3 years there will be 23 different schools filling the 24 spots. North Carolina went 2 years ago. They're the only program that's made it twice in the last 3 years. So we're seeing that nationally, and we're seeing it within the SEC that different programs are going, which is good for the sport too. It's not just LSU, Arkansas, the same teams every year. Because I felt in the 2010s there was a stretch, and if you look, TCU made it 4 straight years. Seems like Texas Tech was there every year. Vanderbilt made it like 4 out of 5, or whatever they made it. Like there was just some of the same program. Virginia were there every year. And I think it's just so much better when there's more diversity of teams.
Is there a why for the diversity? Is it as simple as, we have NIL and portal like college football, or is there something else?
I think it's a little bit of everything. I think more teams are, as the sport has continued to grow, it's become more important at schools. So teams, I'm not even talking NIL resources, just resources allocated towards baseball. There's more of that. And then the NIL comes into it too. It's just spread out the talent. We're seeing the rosters being trimmed down. It's not a hard cap at 34 yet. You can grandfather some kids in there, but it's not. There's a big difference between 40 kids on your team and 34 kids on your team. That's 6 kids from Texas on the Texas roster that can't be on the Texas roster. So 2 might be here, 1 might be there. So you're adding talent elsewhere. And then what also the smaller rosters does, if you face some injuries, it could really affect a good and talented team. Where in years past you had guys, number 36, number 37, those guys on your roster to fill in. So with everything, Louie, I think it's a little bit of everything. But yeah, I don't think it's as simple as with NIL, people are in the transfer portal. I just think it means more. The sport means more at more campuses than it did 10 years ago.
I'm happy you mentioned the 34-person roster. Once that starts taking effect, I give it, like 2 or 3 years, is that going to destroy the diversity? Because won't, more schools at the top end go to 34, and you're going to have players that'll be happy to sit on the University of Texas bench, then go to these Sun Belt schools.
So I was referring to the actual amount of players on the roster, not the scholarship. There's 2 different things there.
Yeah.
They're allowed to fund 34 scholarships, which obviously in the past was 11.7. I was talking about the roster size cutting from 40 to 34, which I believe it's.
And I'm talking about the scholarship number, yeah.
Right, I know. I'll get to that. It spreads out the talent. I think kids want to play. I don't think kids will want to be. I think someone would rather be on UTSA's roster playing than on Texas's roster on full scholarship and maybe a little bit NIL. Kids want to play. That's why kids leave. So I think the 34 roster limit. Let's see if I can explain it. I think 75% will help spread out the talent. 25%, what you're saying. There'll be some more hoarding because they can offer more financial aid / scholarships. But I think the fact that kids want to play and the schools can't hold on to them as much because they don't have any roster spots will lead to more kids going to different schools.
Okay. I just kind of wonder about that because for the longest time, we knew 11-point was just a freaking joke, right? But now you're going to be able to have like 5 scholarship starters because you play 4 games a week. That's easy. Those guys are going to play. And in the bullpen, you can have 4 full scholarship bullpen guys. They're going to play easily, if not 5 or 6 in the bullpen with the modern way that coaches are managing. And those are arms that did not have full rides before. that would be elsewhere and get more money.
It's still hard. I know what you're saying, but there's not enough good pitchers out there. It's not you just look at rosters, look at good teams even in the postseason going to the bullpen. It's not like the five, let's say, richest SEC schools are going to have 6 future major leaguers on their roster. It's just too hard, especially again with a smaller roster size. You're going to have some misses. So I see what you're saying, but I don't see that happening.
Okay, that's the biggest thought I've had since this new concept is that, they'll all play. You have NIL money, they can pay them. And the blue bloods of college baseball, if they really wanted to dump money into it, because I've seen what Texas Tech softball, Oklahoma softball could do, sure. Right? And why would you not go there and play and go to the MLB and make money and be on full rides and play every weekend in SEC play?
Okay, but let's just think this through. And, I'll just keep using Texas as an example. They've got good pitching and they're and they have money. Yeah. So if you're the 4th best pitcher on Texas, from a rev share standpoint, NIL standpoint, you're 4th on their depth chart for pitching, and then let alone whether position players. If you transfer to Alabama, a very good program, obviously, in the College World Series, you could be a weekend starter, let's say, and get a higher percentage of their rev share and maybe some more NIL. So it's not just about the ability to play, which all these kids want to do. It's
if you get outbid, you get outbid. That's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, right. So, this is all new. So we're figuring things out. But again, I think most coaches would tell you this: the smaller roster size will make it more difficult for the powers because those extra 6 players are headed elsewhere. They're not hoarded on your roster.
Pay them. You'll have more than enough. You didn't have the scholarships before. That's my base thought. I heard all the coaches complaining about that, and I'm kind of like, wait a minute. You didn't have enough scholarships to have actual enough players to have a bullpen before, and now you're complaining you don't have enough bodies? I don't know. There's no perfect system.
No, there's not. And, I don't know the money available. You're just saying pay them. Not all schools, very few schools have that kind of money where they're paying the 37th guy in their roster X amount of money, that's going to hold them, keep them in town rather than go somewhere else to play.
I had a question. So going with the theory that, the last spots are filled out with Alabama, OU, West Virginia, Troy, Ole Miss, North Carolina, Georgia, Texas, Alabama, Oklahoma. Who's the best coach in Omaha?
Schlossnagle. It's got to be. I mean, this is his 3rd program to Omaha. He's not won a title. He took TCU there 4 straight years, 5 overall. Took Texas A&M twice in 3 years.
Took Texas in the 2nd year.
Yeah, took Texas in the 2nd year. Now he has not won a national championship. Mike Bianco has won a national championship. Scott Forbes has been there a bunch at North Carolina. You can argue Steve Sabins for building that. He's only in his 2nd year, but he was the lead assistant and top recruiter for building that program up at West Virginia. So it's you look at every year, all these coaches are good. They all run good programs. Wes Johnson has been a top 8 national seed all 3 years at Georgia and had the SEC champ this year and the SEC tournament champ. They have not lost a game in the postseason, but I think it's got to be Schlossnagle.
Of these 8, which one was the most improbable when the season started to make it to Omaha? Not Troy. I'm not even counting them.
Yeah, I'd say Oklahoma. Probably picked in the bottom third of the SEC. Lost the Witherspoon twins off the staff. One of them was a 1st-round pick. One was a 3rd-round pick. A lot of new bodies there. So I'd probably say Oklahoma, Ole Miss next, and Alabama next, just because they weren't expected to contend for an SEC championship. West Virginia doesn't surprise. I'd put West Virginia in the Alabama, Ole Miss. You didn't predict it, but it's not real shocking. They were a preseason top 25 team. They've been to super regionals in recent years. They've got a good program. So, but as we talk about, it takes luck. It takes matchup. I mean, West Virginia fans were probably bummed when the bracket came out because they're the 16th seed. Oh no, we got to go play the number 1 overall seed UCLA. Well, UCLA loses and they get to host Cal Poly at home. So you cannot ignore the luck factor. All these teams deserve to be here. but not all teams got here the same way. Ole Miss goes to Lincoln, Nebraska, has to play Arizona State, has to play Nebraska in front of a huge crowd. They have to go to Auburn, win twice at Auburn. Ole Miss's path is not the same as West Virginia's path.
No, sometimes you have to get lucky. Sometimes luck is you're the most uninjured team of the entire postseason. Sometimes it is an upset across from you. I mean, there's a lot of different paths, as you said.
Yeah, and it's just the nature of the sport. In a 4-team regional, you might be playing a team that has a great ace, and he throws on a Friday, and you play that team on a Saturday, and their number 2 pitcher isn't very good. Whereas if they would have held the number 2 guy, you would have lost. Or might have lost. So yeah, there's just so many factors involved. But you know what? When West Virginia's putting the College World Series decal on their outfield wall,
yep,
no one's going to care.
Oh, not in the least. And Mitch, look, I hate excuses, but injuries really happen in the world. Aggie baseball has been so unlucky with injuries heading into the postseason. Going into that College World Series, which lost. And then even this year, Harkopian was playing on one leg. Aiden Sims got hurt down the stretch, and he was their only weekend starter. He was phenomenal. He was like all SEC. And I know everyone has injuries, and you know me. I think you know I'm not an A&M apologist, but Aggie baseball has gotten so unlucky heading into postseason play in recent years.
Totally agree. It's a factor. People don't like talking about it, but you can't ignore it. It is part of the equation. Coaches are judged by winning and losing, but there's some nuance to it, and that's why you would hope the people that get paid the money to judge a coach, I'm not talking about Michael Early getting fired, obviously. You know what I'm saying? That there are situations, and that's why message board posters don't hire and fire coaches, because you got to look beyond the numbers sometimes and figure out what really happened.
Dude, let's grab a timeout, come back. I got more for you, brother.
Sounds good.
Mitch Light of The Athletic hanging out with us on the D4 Land Services hotline. If you need your land fixed up, d4landservices.com. You want to get your land cleared, land excavated, check out d4landservices.com. For forestry, mulching, pond construction, metal building, I think you got it figured out by now, right? Visit d4landservices.com. This is the Louie Bellina Show, Monday on The Zone.
For the complete contest and prize rules for 1150 AM and 93.7 FM, visit zone1150.com.
No. Come get it.
It is the only time you will ever hear that song is Summertime here on the Louie Bellina Show, and I'm still not proud of it. Then rejoin Mitch Light of The Athletic on the D4 Land Services hotline. Mitch, simple question here. I'll give you 2 of the 8. Who you taking to win it all?
Georgia was my pick before the tournament, and thought they had maybe the toughest route to Omaha from the Supers, not from the beginning, from the Supers playing Mississippi State. So I'll stick with them. I mean, I just think they're too good offensively, and if anyone wants to say, they just play in a small park and they had a lot of home runs, I think we went over this last week. Their road series wins in the SEC, I would put up, I meant to look this up, but I would put up with any SEC team ever. To win 5 series where they won is impressive. So they're built to win anywhere, not just in Athens, is my point.
No, I follow you, and I love that stat too. That helps give perspective. They're just legitimately that good. They were the number 3 overall seed, SEC champion before the final weekend. That kind of speaks pretty bold to me too. And,
right.
And yes, the park will be bigger. Omaha plays big even. So, yeah. But they're just going to hit a lot more doubles, I guess.
Texas is, you'd say, maybe built for Omaha too, because their pitching is very good and their lineup is not nearly as deep as Georgia's. Their front end guys, they got star power at the top of the lineup, first 3 or 4 guys, but not as deep. But they can really pitch. So it's not very bold to say Georgia and Texas would be my top 2 picks. I'm going to be there, so I can't wait till that Saturday night Georgia Texas game. Last year was LSU Arkansas was the Saturday night game. That won't be quite as electric. This year's matchup won't be quite as electric as that, but you can't. Again, Georgia and Texas on a Saturday in Omaha. It's going to be fun to watch.
Everything just went final. Here's the matchups that have been released for TV. Friday at 1 o'clock, West Virginia against Troy. Then at 6 o'clock, it's North Carolina Ole Miss. Saturday at 2, okay.
Then it's not final. It's the fourth.
I know. Oklahoma, Alabama. And then 7 o'clock on Saturday will be Georgia, Texas. So that's effectively what we can expect in Omaha this weekend.
Yeah, I was getting some stuff ready to file a story right when the field is set, and I had to guess in advance. I mean, I could have easily changed them, but it was pretty easy to guess the game times. Because you knew what teams were playing Friday, and you knew what teams were playing Saturday, so it didn't take that much. I don't need to be a TV executive to say that Georgia, Texas is going to be the night game over Alabama, Oklahoma, and that North Carolina Ole Miss is going to be the night game over Troy, West Virginia.
So that's all SEC Saturday.
Yes. That'll be interesting. Yeah, I'm interested to see what the crowd makeup is. Obviously, Texas will have a lot they always do. Ole Miss took over in 22 when they won it. Part of that was just they hadn't been in a while, and then when they were in the championship series, I think West Virginia is going to be extremely well represented there. Alabama and Oklahoma's got the proximity, but I would say Alabama and Oklahoma would be in Georgia. Would trail. I guess my point is that West Virginia, Ole Miss, and Texas, I think, will have the most fans.
Yeah, they will. West Virginia will win that Jell-O shot board.
Yes, are already the favorite there.
Yeah,
so
that's a hands-down no-brainer. How many times have you been to Omaha? You said you're going to go. How many times have you been now?
5. This will be my 6th.
Favorite sporting event for you?
It's up there. I've been to one Final Four as a fan, not media. I've been to Omaha once media, 4 times as a fan. Never been to a Super Bowl. I've been to plenty of NCAA tournaments just here in Nashville and growing up as a kid. But yeah, it's really, really cool. It's just my one complaint is Omaha in June is the hottest place on planet Earth. But what are you going to do?
You need to come to Texas in August.
Yeah, I know, and it's hot here too. I'm only half kidding. And the weather's not. I got lucky there last year. I think I was there the opening weekend, so the Friday, Saturday games, and there were no weather delays. It looks like one of those 20% chance of thunderstorms every day, which is the case in the South and the Midwest in the summer every day. So hopefully won't impact the games.
I have not been able to do Omaha. It's one of the few things left on the Louie Bellina sports bucket list.
You should do it. It's you can't beat it. It's fun. And the problem is, I love that it's in Omaha. I hope it never leaves. It's just not the easiest place to get to for most of the country, and
True.
hotels are really expensive because it's just not only are there 8 fan bases, but it's also a huge weekend for youth baseball tournaments. Like my hotel last year was just overrun with youth baseball families. So there's just so many people flooding into town that if you want to stay in downtown Omaha, you got to plan ahead, and it's hard to find a hotel for under $500 a night. But it's a great event.
You know what? Okay, sports trips, right? Bowl games were always awesome trips. I have preached for years that bowl games are garbage. They're exhibitions, and it's not the game. The bowl game trips are absolutely incredible. Like, people going there have the most fun. People, it's almost like you plan a vacation around it. The games are awful. The games are no indicator of the next year. The way the games get misinterpreted just destroy my soul sometimes. But bowl game trips are awesome.
I agree. I went, obviously Vanderbilt has not played in many ton of bowl games in my life, and most of them have been Memphis or Nashville, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, they were in Tampa this year, and I went with my wife and son, stayed in a hotel right downtown, had friends go, had a great time. They lost the game. I don't care, but just saw a bunch of friends from college I hadn't seen in years. And you're right. So it was a great trip. And again, you got to go in knowing the game's not inconsequential if you want your team to win, but it was a fun event. Just the nature of college sports. Anytime you go somewhere and you got people traveling to support their team, it's just fun. And the good thing about the College World Series, you got, especially this first weekend, you've got 8 fan bases there, and so that's what makes it so great.
That's what I always liked about going to the opening weekend at a regional basketball host site. You have all the different fan bases and colors, and everybody can get along. They're a blast.
Yes. Totally agree.
That's just, I don't know. I always thought that was part of the fun. Back to the College World Series. You picked your favorites. Who do you think is the best underdog for this story?
Ole Miss, maybe. I don't, good starting pitching. Front, a lot of power. They strike out a lot. They hit a lot of home runs. So you might say, okay, that's sort of a dangerous recipe in Omaha with the park there. And not saying that just because they're playing well now, they can carry it over. But again, they're past there. Look at all the teams. Nebraska was a really good team. Arizona State was good. They won in difficult environments on the road. They're battle tested, all this stuff. So I think, they've won 5 straight. They didn't lose in the regional. They've won 5 straight games against good teams. So I would think Ole Miss would be, of the betting fit, they're probably, I haven't seen the odds. I'm sure probably, I don't know how the Georgia-Texas thing's going to shake out as favorites since they play each other. One's going to be in the loser's bracket. But I would say Ole Miss would not be among the top 4 favorites. I could be wrong. But
Georgia,
I think
Texas, North Carolina will all be betting favorites before Ole Miss.
Yes, and maybe West Virginia too, because West Virginia playing Troy gives them a leg up to get into the winners bracket over Ole Miss. Obviously, who's got a tough matchup. Pitching matters. North Carolina played. Well, so they played Friday. They played Saturday. They played Saturday and Sunday. So, they've got time to rest, but Jason DiCarlo threw a lot of pitches, I believe, yesterday. So is he ready to go Friday? So a lot of that stuff matters, too. You got to see the pitching matchups. The North Carolina Ole Miss game is going to be. I got a question for you as a media member.
Oh, that's me, yeah.
Okay, so I got a new light blue Puma polo. It's my favorite new shirt. Just fits really well. It's comfortable. I was like, okay, I'm going to wear this to media day at College World Series because it's like not that hot and you're outside all day. But it's Carolina blue, and Ole Miss also has that light blue. Do I not wear it? It doesn't say any school. It's got a Puma logo. Do I just go gray?
You wear it. Multiple schools. That means you're not representing anyone. If it was only one school that color, I would be a little more suspicious. You're not with a fan site, so you really can't afford to do that. Multiple schools, you're good.
Okay, because I got a nice gray Under Armour polo from last year with the College World Series logo. I could do that, too. So I'm glad. This is the first time I've gone to Louie Bellina for fashion advice. Now that I know that you're solid with it, we might have the fashion corner at the end of every episode where I ask you about what I should wear for the following week.
Well, among media circles, I am known as a fashionista. And basically daily here at the office, the Bryan Broadcasting building, I am asked for fashion advice. So you came to the right place, yeah.
Okay, good.
It's what I do.
So if you hear of a media guy wearing a light blue shirt who gets yelled at by a team for being a Carolina or an Ole Miss fan, you'll know it was me.
If you're being yelled at by people who look like they work for the Savannah Bananas, the West Virginia fans, It's my fault, Mitch.
Okay.
Have an amazing trip. I can't wait to hear about it Monday, man. Seriously.
I'll be back. I'll be back Sunday night, so I'll be good to go next Monday.
I'm just such a fan of the experience of it. Just go have an amazing time. I'll check in with you Monday, and just go be awesome, dude.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mitch. Mitch Light of The Athletic, hanging out with us on the D4 Land Services hotline. Again, I have not been able to get to Omaha. I know A&M's been there more than once, so I've had many opportunities, and I don't want to go unless A&M's there, to be clear, even though at this point I might have to go without A&M being there. To spend all that money to not watch A&M at Omaha strikes me as a bad idea, but again, I might not have a choice. D4 Land Services. They do custom metal buildings from the ground up, and it's D4 Land Services. Land Services, it's in the title. So they fix your land up. They help you clear your land. They can do the land excavation. Just go to the website and find out everything they do, and it's d4landservices.com. It's the Louie Bellina Show. I'll be back, and we got to talk about food. I think it's because I'm hungry. I'm not sure. It's the Louie Bellina Show on the Zone.
We are going. Are you ready? The Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM, where nothing is impossible. On the Zone.
It's time. Here we go.
Let's go. It's the Louie Bellina Show. I'm Louie Bellina. Welcome. Halftime. We're hanging out till 2 o'clock and still to come at 1. Joining me inside the Charles Schwab studio, Andrew Monaco, voice of Aggie Athletics. We'll hang out, catch up. I love hanging out. I love catching up. In uncertain times, Charles Schwab remains invested in their clients by offering personalized guidance and clarity. You can contact Mark Sim. He's right here in College Station. Go get answers to your questions. Learn more. It's schwab.com/College Station. Schwab.com/College Station. I'm not sure if you were with us at the end of our first hour together. Where were you? I mentioned Tony Catalina, a tweet that will live in infamy, mentioning his 2 whole years of hardcore time here in the state of Texas, and he feels qualified now to say In-N-Out Burger beats Whataburger. Not going to relive that part of it. But I mentioned at the time that TripAdvisor, I saw this on Facebook, the Zone Facebook, Zone 1150. And that's what we are at Facebook, Zone 1150. And they did this is according to TripAdvisor. I don't know the criteria for TripAdvisor. I don't know the methodology. So I don't know how they came up with this. I don't know. But it's the best restaurants, and they did it as a top 20 list. And if I knew the methodology, maybe I would just know why, but we all have different taste buds. And I just don't want to outright insult other people's taste buds. I know sometimes what I like, sometimes what you like in other ways, right? Man. Okay, I'm going to try and do this politely. I don't want to insult every restaurant on the list, but this list has no bearing on the reality of what I would have as my best restaurants in College Station. Many places on here are good, but Fish Daddy's Grill House is number 2. Whenever I need a seafood fix, I go to Fish Daddy's Grill House. I like to get their Mexican shrimp cocktail, and then I'll pick a fish. It hits the spot. It is not the finest seafood place in town. Seafood place in the world. I tend to not eat seafood at any place that's not actually near sea. It's a general good rule of thumb. But that's the second best restaurant in College Station? You can get your fix in, but second best, really. I think that's a bold statement, Cotton. I just have to disagree with that. That's all. Really, no. Just no. That's a Louie Bellina feeling vote from me. They had Fuego Tortilla and Grill at 1. I have been to Fuego many times. I enjoy a good Fuego Tortilla fix, but that's the number 1 restaurant. I don't even consider Fuego a restaurant. It's a taco place. I love breakfast tacos. It might be one of my best ways to start a day. But you're telling me that Fuego Tortilla is better than Stella's Southern Cafe. It's better than Primrose Path. It's just no. And this is Louie Bellina world. Maybe for you, you're like, Lou, Fuego Tortilla, it's the greatest meal I've ever had in my life. It's better than Ruth's Crisp. It's better than Prime Steak. It's better than, there's nothing. Okay, I can't argue with that. It's your taste buds. But that's the list they presented. They have the Republic Steakhouse at 4. They're saying that Fuego is a better restaurant than the Republic Steakhouse. And maybe you don't think the Republic's the best place you ate at, and that's fine. Okay. But you're not going to convince me that Fuego is above the Republic Steakhouse. Kind of rattled me to see this list. Stella's Southern Cafe is at 5. I love Stella Southern Cafe. Michael Laird, the whole gang out there. I think they do food great. I think they do food phenomenal. And they do a breakfast brunch thing. And it is all consistently epic, awesome, fantastic. They had Casa do Brasil at 7. And you know what's interesting? I am one of those people who will actually go there and I will actually do the salad bar only. You've heard about those people. I'm one of them. I don't have to get the full experience and spend the $90 or $100 just to get the full experience. Their salad bar is phenomenal and can fill me up quite quickly. I can do either one. One that made me smile is Hullabaloo Diner at 8. It's so off the beaten path that I always forget to go eat there. But I love Hullabaloo Diner. And if you want to go do a breakfast that's like a treat yourself breakfast, Hullabaloo Diner. They have a place on here that is so boring, so nondescript, like so just not, and it came in the next 10, that I'm just like, has anyone eaten there or did they just pick names out of a hat? There's only 2 places in the top 20 I could say I've never eaten at, which surprised me because I figured I'd eaten at every place in town. Can anybody tell me about Sweet Paris? It came in at number 17. Not familiar. I'll Google when I get out of here today, but yeah, Sweet Paris came in at number 17. I've never been there. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Lou, you got to try. Yes, no, maybe. And Gate 12 Bar and Grill, I've never heard a bad thing about them. I've always just been told that the prices are way too high. But the food is like excellent. Which, if the food is excellent, how's the price too high? Because when it comes to food, my belief system's kind of pretty straightforward. If you want to charge me like $100 for a steak, just give me a $100 steak, and I'll gladly pay you $100 for a steak because I want to taste a $100 steak. Like whatever the ticket price is at a restaurant, I'm always willing to pay if I'm getting the value. And then I can make the decision. So I've never been to Gate 12 Bar and Grill, but never heard anything but just absolutely, simply amazing things about it. So, and look, if you've been to these places and you can kind of help me out, if you even want to send me maybe your top 3 places in town, because it's got to be better than this TripAdvisor list. I don't know the methodology. I don't know the people that write into TripAdvisor, to be fair with you, at all. I just don't. But yeah, 17 was Sweet Paris. Haven't been there. And number 20 is Gate 12 Bar and Grill. I've never even heard of Sweet Paris. That's not an insult to them. Just, I haven't even heard of them. And Gate 12 Bar and Grill, like I said, heard about them, but heard nothing but great things. One more on this list. Number 16 was Primrose Path Wine Bar. I've been there more than a time or two. And I would say it's easily one of my favorite places in town. Hands down, absolutely every time. Beautiful flavors, phenomenal. I say it's in my top 5. I think that's inaccurate. I think it's in my top 3 without even a conversation. And maybe it's 1, maybe it's 2, maybe it's 3. I just haven't arranged the list of the 3. But so to see it at 16, disappointing. But then when I see what they're kind of like 1, 2, 3, and I'm like, one's not even really a restaurant. Both are other casual. One's just wrong. And so maybe I shouldn't be too upset at the list at all. Woo. That's just a no. That just gets a hard no from me. Others on here are interesting. When I go out to eat, even places that don't seem good or popular can have that one thing, and they do it great. One thing that you enjoy tremendously, even if the rest of their things don't make the list. And that's okay by me. I can make it work. Because some places, not their whole menu is good, so don't order the whole menu. And I see some of those places on this list where I'm like, oh, I can go there. I can go there. I can go there. and get a great meal, even if the place itself is not necessarily so good. So yeah. I saw this morning, and I had to spit it out in the world to get it out of my head, because for the most part, I think this list is awful. Again, I don't know the methodology. JC and Brian texted, by the way, and said Whataburger is not the same since it was sold. Haven't talked about that Tony Catalina tweet, because we did in the first hour. And the Reader's Digest version is this. Yes, since Whataburger sold, they have dropped so far it's scary. But In-N-Out Burger in Texas is still not better than Whataburger without the quality. Whataburger in their prime, undefeated, undisputed, better than any burger, and we're in the fast food variety, known to man. But in the current rankings, In-N-Out Burger, California specific, beats all. But In-N-Out Burger, Texas, no, I don't know why I just can't figure it out. Don't want to either. Not that important to me, but still. And Whataburger, yeah, since they sold, I don't know. They decided they could figure out a cheaper formula, lower quality, but In-N-Out Burger, okay, current state of both, I still think Whataburger beats In-N-Out Burger Texas to Texas, but In-N-Out California beats current Whataburger. Very complicated, very complicated. I should build a flow chart, but I don't want to. We'll be back. We'll wrap up the lunch hour together, and lunchtime is thanks to Rudy's Barbecue, the home of the green chili stew.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
The Louie Bellina Show.
It's awesome.
Not the sharpest tool in the shed, but he is the loudest. Listen in weekdays, 11 to 2 on the Zone.
It is the Louie Bellina Show. 7 minutes away from Andrew Monaco, voice of Aggie Athletics, inside the Charles Schwab studio. It's just a big kind of catch-up thing. He'll be joining us then. A couple other quick text messages. Pat McAfee will win the Jell-O Shot tournament. I don't think individuals are allowed to enter, but yes, he will lead the West Virginia all-time record for the Jell-O Shot board in Omaha. RJ, even Whataburgers at different locations have different quality. That's true for most places, unless like McDonald's. Every McDonald's you go to will taste the same. I'll just say in the United States, they will taste the exact same. I mean, that's the ultimate corporate franchise fast food thing. But yes, you're right. The Whataburger thing, it's a tragedy. We need a 30 for 30 on Whataburger, without a doubt. 979-693-1150, 979-693-1150. We're having fun. Look, it's summer edition of the Louie Bellina Show. That means a lot of different things. I'm going to be giving you tickets. The ticket booth is thanks to Dixie Tire Company, and I'm going to have tickets to Moody Gardens all summer long, $50 gift cards to Rudy's Barbecue, family 4-packs to Splashway, family 4-packs to Hawaiian Falls. It's just what we do on the Louie Bellina Show all summer long. And yeah, we're going to spend more time in the lifestyle section because it's time to chill, relax. And yes, we will get hyped, fired up, ready for the college football season each and every day. It's the Louie Bellina Show summer edition. It's kind of like my promise to you. Let us enjoy the summer. Is that cool? 979-693-1150. You can light up the Texas Mobile One Lube Express inbox. Texas Mobile One Lube Express, owned by Gabriel Garcia. I don't know how much Rangers and Astros we can talk. Both teams, if they finish 500, minor miracles. Astros took 2 out of 3 from the A's at Daikin over the weekend. They almost had the sweep. Couldn't finish it on Sunday. This is the healthiest the Astros have been offensively since opening day. You look up Pena leading off, Alvarez, batting in the 2-hole. Christian Walker, who's having a great year power-wise, batting 3. Paredes caught fire over the weekend. Homered Friday, homered Saturday. Altuve back from the IL. And again, Paredes homered Friday and Saturday. The Astros looked like they were going to sweep the A's, but they ran into Mike Burrows, and that's never a good thing. Up next for the Astros, Angels, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Spencer Arrighetti goes tonight. Pre-game, 8:10 right here on the Zone. Astros, Angels, 3-game series. Arrighetti goes tonight. Astros baseball on the Zone, brought to you by Kelly Burt Dozer. Astros are off Thursday. Stay out on the road. Kansas City, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And again, Astros tonight on the Zone, 8:10. Astros baseball on the Zone. And there's select games that end up on Willie 1550 AM. Astros baseball, thanks to Kelly Bert Dozer. I'll be right back. It's the Louie Bellina Show.